Hello everyone, welcome to Insecta channel. So today we'll discuss about the growth stages of silkworm. So first there are four growth stage, that is egg, then larva, then pupa, then the last one is adult. So here the eggs, after mating, each female moth they will lay egg around 400. Silkworm eggs are flat, then ellipsoid or oval in shape and a tiny pore known as micropyle. So on the anterior end of the egg you will find a tiny pore that is known as micropyle. So they are hard and measures about 1.3 to 1.4 mm and this is the length. So width, thickness, all these things are given. So you just remember the most important thing here is how many eggs the female moth will lay at each time. So at a time they will lay 400 eggs. Next, the color varies in different breed. So newly laid eggs are pale yellow to dark yellow. So sometime you will find pale yellow in color, sometime you will find the dark yellow in color. Already I have told that diposing eggs they will become purplish after few days. So after 24 hours, that is after 1 day of egg laying, you will see that these yellow color eggs become like this purple or grayish color. Means the color will changes from yellow to dark color or gray color. So egg period is about 10 days from the day of egg laying. Then the eggs of temperate breeds enter into the diapause to escape the severe winter. So temperate region means it is of severe winter. So in that area the egg will enter into the diapause to escape that winter period. Next we'll see the larva. So newly hatched larvae are brown or reddish brown in color and look like ants to the naked eye. So you can see here these are the newly hatched larvae. So they will look like small ant if you will see by your eyes. So the newly larva they measure about 3 mm in long. Then they feed on the mulberry leaf. Then they will grow gradually. The color will change into the greenish white. So as you can see, this was the earlier color. As they grow, their color become this greenish white. The larva they passes through a 5 instar. Already I have discussed in the life cycle. So these 5 instar they will complete in about 25 days and they will grow by 10,000 times in size. So if you will compare the first instar larva and if you are comparing this first instar larva with the fifth instar larva, then you can see a size difference. So that is 10,000 times more bigger than the first instar larva. Then the fully grown larva is cylindrical with a convex dorsal side and slightly flat ventral. So suppose this is the larva. So the dorsal side means the upper portion is dorsal side. So here you will find the cylindrical with convex in shape, whereas in the ventral side they are flat in shape. As you can see. Next you see here these are the abdominal leg, or you can say the prolegs. This is the head, these are the thoracic legs, and these are the caudal legs. This is the structure of silkworm larva. So male and female silkworm they are having a genital marking, different genital marking. So how you will identify which one is male larva, which one is female larva? So we'll discuss that. The male are identified by the presence of milk white pear-shaped Herold's gland on the mid-posterior part of the 8th segment on the ventral side. So as you can see, this is the Herold's gland. It is pear-shaped. So this Herold's gland is the indication that they are male larva. And where this Herold's gland is present? It is present in the ventral side of 8th segment. So middle of the 8th segment you will find this Herold's gland. Now the female, how you will identify them? So the females are identified by the presence of 2 pairs of milk dotted structure. Here you can see 2 pairs of milk dotted structure. One pair is situated in the lateral side of the 8th segment of the ventral side of course, and other is on the ninth segment. So here clearly you can see this is one pair and this is another pair, so they are two pair. You can see here another pair is there. So one pair you will find on the 8th segment, another pair on the 9th segment, and it is also you will find in ventral side. So these glands are known as ischiatus gland. So in female, remember this, in female you will find ischiatus gland, in male you will find Herold's gland. So these are the two different identification mark for the male and female larva. Next we will see the full grown caterpillar, they develops a pair of silk gland. So when the caterpillar larva will grow, means the silkworm larva will grow fully, they will develop a silk gland. The silk glands are nothing but they are modified labial gland. This is important for the JRF question, that is silk gland are modified labial glands. So these glands are cylindrical and divided into three segments: anterior, middle and posterior. You can see this is the anterior segment, this is the middle segment, and this is the posterior segment. So these are the three segments of the silk gland. So these glands secrete silk, which consists of an inner tough protein, that is fibroin. As I already told in the introduction class, that is the silk fiber, they contain two protein, one is fibroin, another one is sericin. So fibroin is the tough protein, whereas the fibroin is covered with a water soluble gelatinous protein, that is sericin. So this fibroin and sericin will be secreted in the larval stages of silkworm only. So the duct from another small gland is called Lioness gland, that lubricate the tube through which the silk passes. See, as you can see here. So from this the two protein will come. This is the middle region. So they will come, and here in the Philippus gland, or this is known as Lioness gland. So this is also important. So Philippus gland is otherwise known as Lioness gland. So from here the Lioness gland will come out through this spinneret. Okay, so these two protein will come up to this Philippus gland, and this, when they will come out from this Philippus gland or lionate, so they have to pass through a spinneret. Okay, so when they will pass, they will form the silk. The protein will be formed silk. Okay, the protein will form the silk thread. So this spinneret is also known as silk press. They will press the protein and they will make it into the silk thread. So it is also known as silk press. So remember, Philippus gland is also known as Lioness gland, and spinneret is also known as silk press. Next we will see the pupa. So the fully grown larva, they will spin the cocoon. You know this thing. So inside that cocoon the pupa will be there. So it takes about 2 days to spin the cocoon, and another 2 to 3 days to transform into pupa. So first they will take 2 days to make the cocoon, because larva will make the cocoon. So they will take 2 days to make the cocoon, and they will take 2 to 3 days to form pupa inside that cocoon. Then the female pupa, how will identify male and female pupa? The female pupa are broader abdomen, stout tip, and egg-shaped mark on the ventral side of 8th segment. So here you can see this is the female pupa, and in this you can see the egg-shaped marking on the 8th segment of the ventral side of abdomen. So here you can find egg-shaped marking, and these are little bit broader than this male pupa. Then the male pupa are narrow abdomen, sharp tip, and dark spot on the ventral side of the 9th segment. So here you can find one dark spot is there. Next we will see the adult moth. So the silk moth emerges into 10 to 12 days from the day of spinning. Suppose they started the days of spinning here from these starting days, they will take 10 to 12 days to form the moth. Then the moth secrete an alkaline fluid. As you can see here, they are coming out, the moth is coming out, and you know this shell or this cocoon is very hard. Okay, you cannot break easily, you have to cut it, then only you can break it. So how this moth will come out? So the moth is having a alkaline fluid which will secrete from its mouth, which will soften the cocoon shell. Then only they can make a hole and they can emerge out from the cocoon. So how we will identify male and female moth? So the moth, they look like butterflies, but the wings spread slightly downward. As you can see, butterfly, their wing will spread like this, whereas this moth, their wing spread is little bit downwards. The moth are also do not have any mouth parts, and their only purpose is for mating and lay egg. So in this stage, always remember, moth will not feed anything because they don't have mouth parts. And why they are here? Because they will mate and they will lay the eggs. After that they will die. So they mate immediately and female lay egg around 400. This thing also we have discussed. And the moth will die in about 4 to 5 days or a week. Next, how we will identify the male and female moth? See, I will say here only, as you can see, this heavier one is female moth and this smaller one is male moth. And if you are seeing this originally, then you will see the fluttering of wings is more in male moth, means वो जोर से wing फड़फड़ाते हैं. And whereas in case of female moth, the fluttering of wings is very less. Okay. So like this you can identify the male and female moth. And by seeing the abdomen also you can identify their abdomen is very broad and stout, whereas the male moth, they are very narrow abdomen. So next class we will discuss about the Sericulture, that is cultivation of mulberry.